about what you're doing here in Korea.
Well, when I come into Korea in 1951, I was in a 4.2 mortars. That's a big mortar. I was in M Company, 7th Infantry Division. And I went up into the northeast sector, up around Chuncheon, up around Heartbreak Ridge, Pork Chop Hill, up in that area. That's where I served. I spent most of my time at our headquarters in Chuncheon.
What's your most vivid memory from back then in the Korean War?
Is standing at the foot of a mountain, watching the F-86s fly over, dropping napalm, stuff like that, and thinking that somebody expects me to go up there. You know, that was the biggest thing that concerned me.
How do you feel coming back here to where it all
Oh, it's awesome. What these people have done with this country is just unbelievable. I've been back a couple of times. I served in Korea twice during that early time. I was here as an infantryman the first time. I went home in December of 1951. Then I switched to the Air Force, and I came back in 1954, 55, and I got to see a lot more of the country than, you know, the Korean people. And we spent a lot of time picking up little orphan kids, little kids that were on the road, you know, refugees. And that's my biggest memory of Korea, is what we did with helping build orphanages. And of course, I was in the Air Force then, living on a Marine base. You imagine, we took a lot of flack from the Marines. But the kids were what, I worked with the missionaries and with the little kids, getting the orphanages started. That's one of the things that impressed me, what some of them kids did. Well, I think that makes the whole thing worthwhile. Just seeing what these people have done with their country and with their culture, and how they maintain it and insist on passing it on to the younger kids, and the kind of discipline and family that they have, that's in contrast to the United States. You know, our school systems are in terrible shape, and they talk about 72% of the kids that finish high school go to college, where we have something, what, under 60%? And the education is, I think it's abysmal. I did some school teaching after I retired from the Air Force. I taught 8th grade in an alternative school. And just to see kids, you know, really competitive to go to school, I think it's sad that this country, what they've gone through and what we're going through. But I have some Korean friends who were in the Korean military during the war, and we still have a lot of contact with them. And I'm impressed. Just to see the difference in the country. Well, first time I come into Seoul, I walked in on a dirt road from Incheon. And this time, the first time I come back, we drove in a state-of-the-art bus, you know, with all this traffic. And somebody said that somebody your age cannot believe what it was like or imagine, and somebody my age, you know, can't believe what it's like now. The big difference and the contrast, what these people have done. Well, this is the last time I'm going to come back, but it's just fascinating. And of course, I'm the national chaplain for the Korean War Veterans Association. And to meet all these different people, like I met a guy today who was in the 3rd Infantry Division, and I live in Portsmouth, Virginia, a small town in Virginia, and we discovered that there was the high school my son went to, there was a fellow who was a Korean recipient of the Medal of Honor. He died 19 days before the shooting stopped. West Point guy from that little town, and there was nothing in the high school to honor him. So I got a bunch of Korean War veterans together, and we made a shadow box and got the ribbons, and we got a wall in the library of that high school dedicated to Dick Shea. And he was in the same outfit I was in, but he was there after I was. And I run across this guy today who was a classmate of his at West Point. So he was a staff sergeant in the World War II, and then he got out, went to the ROTC program at Virginia Tech, and got commissioned, or got an appointment to West Point. And he had a choice. He was a track star, and he had a choice in 1953, either to come to Korea with his unit or go to the Olympics as a runner. And he chose to come to Korea, and he got killed on the 18th of July, 1953 at Pork Chop Hill. But to meet these guys, like a West Point classmate of his, that's something.